So along that line, do you see spiritual problems as personal issues that spill into work or as workplace issues that reveal deeper, more personal misalignments?
So it's both. Great. That's a great question. But if I would have to start with something, I would say go inside because it doesn't matter where you work. Some people, and I saw this with a client. It's so funny. The question I had the client yesterday, she hired a bunch of vendors over the last 6 months, and she kept replacing them because she had problems with them, but it was really her. And it took her a long time to get to a place where on yesterday's call, she realized it's me. I'm not clear with people. I rush into things. Her issues had her rush into things, sign contracts, pay money, and really not do her due diligence because she's very impatient. She wants to be liked. All these, whatever nonsense it's not really nonsense. It's her operating system. So we realized we need to step back. What I tell some clients is we have to slow down to speed up. Let's slow down and let's recalibrate. And now let's work on these internal problems of you being impatient and all these other things that she has. And recognize them. Even recognizing you're impatient, maybe you'll always be impatient, but then you can create an operating procedure or certain standards you're going to follow to avoid the negative part of being impatient, right? Or perfectionist or whatever. So I think it's always an internal problem because I've also had, I feel this other client who she's actually an executive, brilliant. She has a PhD and an MBA. She's in biotech, one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. And she's one of the saddest people I've ever met too, because wherever she goes, she has the same problem. In corporations, she's switched jobs a few times. And by the way, she can do the work brilliantly, but she's having the same issues with corporations. A lot of these sales teams, very male dominated. There's toxic masculinity, all this kind of stuff. So you could say, oh, that's the issue in the company. It's toxic masculinity, or it's these guys being guys. But I know a lot of successful women who've learned how to deal with that, or they find a team that's not like that. So why does she keep getting into these situations? And it's because she hasn't really stood up for herself. She allows herself to be pushed around, and she blames it on, male culture. Yeah, men can be tough, right? Aggressive. We hit each other in the shoulder and do all sorts of guy things and say crude jokes. But I know tons of successful women who they never hear a crude joke. Maybe they do, but they have filters on. They don't care. They're moving forward. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's never on the outside. It starts on the inside. Because as long as she doesn't fix doesn't learn why she's attracting, unfortunately, these sort of people to her, there's something there for her to overcome. And once she recognizes these issues that she has and learns how to deal with them and operate within those limitations that she has, or she'll go past it. And I've seen that too. It's almost like people are in a certain movie and they keep going to see the same movie, the same horror movie, the same comedy movie. They love that movie. Well, no, you have to take yourself out of that movie, out of that theater, and go into a new theater. And that takes effort to get up off your seat, to recognize it's up to you.